Let me ask you something personal. Is there something sitting in your home right now, in a closet, in a drawer, in the garage, that you bought with genuine excitement, used approximately twice, and have not touched since? Something that, if you are being completely honest, you would not buy again if you could go back. Okay. Let's be honest, everyone does. Here is what is remarkable. This experience is almost universal. A full 92% of shoppers have some history of impulse buying, and the average American spent approximately $254 per month, or $3,045 over the entire year, on impulse purchases in 2025. That is not a rounding error. That is $3,045 that left the building without a serious plan. And 2026 is not making it easier. In the second quarter of 2026, U.S. consumers are facing uneven hiring, rising inflation, and ongoing geopolitical tensions, with a smaller share reporting optimism and a greater share saying they felt pessimistic about the economy. Which means every dollar you spend on something that genuinely is not worth it hits harder than it did a few years ago. The number one financial regret of 2025, according to a survey by Credit Karma, was not saving money, cited by 38% of respondents. The number two regret was making impulse purchases, cited by 28%. Today, we are going to prevent 2026 from making the same list. Here are 10 purchases, some obvious, some genuinely surprising, that the data, the economics, and a little plain honesty suggest are simply not worth your money this year. Purchase 1. The new car, especially right now. We have to start here because nothing else on this list costs as much as this mistake when it goes wrong. Buying a brand new car, as opposed to a reliable used one, is one of the most financially damaging routine decisions the average American makes. The math is brutal and consistent. A new car loses approximately 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot, and roughly 60% of its value within 5 years, according to automotive depreciation data. You are not just buying a car. You are buying the privilege of absorbing the steepest depreciation curve on your behalf. So the person who buys it from you 3 years later gets the benefit of a nearly new car at a much lower price. In 2026 specifically, the average new car transaction price sits above $47,000, according to recent automotive industry data, and average car loan interest rates have risen significantly from where they were just a few years ago, with many borrowers now carrying rates of 7% to 9% or higher on 60 to 72-month loans. You are financing a depreciating asset at a high interest rate over 6 years. The math should make your eye twitch. A 2 to 4-year-old used version of nearly any vehicle you are considering gives you most of the reliability, all of the features, and a fraction of the depreciation exposure, and allows you to invest the difference where it will actually grow. Purchase 2. Extended warranties from retail stores. You are at the checkout. You have decided on the television, the laptop, the appliance. The total is on the screen. And then the cashier leans in with the energy of someone about to offer you something they genuinely believe in. Would you like to add the extended warranty for $149? Here is what you need to know about that $149. Consumer Reports has consistently found that extended warranties sold at retail point of sale are among the least financially sound purchases consumers routinely make, primarily because they are priced to be profitable for the retailer, not protective for you. The failure rates of electronics and appliances in the years immediately following manufacture are lower than most people intuitively assume, which is exactly the window the extended warranty covers. Problems that do occur are frequently caused by things the warranty specifically excludes anyway. Additionally, many credit cards, particularly mid-tier and premium cards, include extended warranty protection automatically on purchases made with the card, adding 1 year to the manufacturer's warranty at no additional cost. You may already own the protection you are being sold. Check your card benefits before agreeing to anything at the checkout counter. Purchase 3. Subscription boxes and curated delivery services. This purchase has a specific villain hiding inside it, the subscription model itself. Subscription boxes, curated boxes of products delivered monthly in categories ranging from beauty to snacks to fitness gear, are engineered to feel like a gift you give yourself every month, which makes them uniquely resistant to cancellation. Canceling feels like depriving yourself of something, even when you are not using what arrives, even when you cannot fully remember the last box you opened with genuine enthusiasm. The average American spends approximately $219 per month on subscription services. And critically, when asked to estimate what they spend, people consistently underestimate their actual subscription spending by more than 2.5 times. The subscription box is the most emotionally insulated line item in that total, because it carries the feeling of a treat rather than a bill. The practical test is simple. If you cannot immediately name what was in your last box and something you are genuinely using from it, the subscription is not adding value proportional to its cost. Cancel it this week, redirect the monthly charge to savings, and note whether you actually miss anything specific rather than just the feeling of something arriving. Purchase 4. Buying now, paying later on things that depreciate. Buy now, pay later. BNPL services like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm have expanded dramatically, and they occupy a uniquely dangerous category. They make unaffordable purchases feel affordable by breaking them into small, psychologically digestible installments. Among people who made impulse purchases of $250 or more in early 2025, 9.9% used buy now, pay later services to pay for them. The problem is not the installment format per se, it is what buy now, pay later financing is systematically applied to: clothing, electronics, home decor, beauty products. Things that depreciate immediately. Things that will be worth less or worth nothing at all to you specifically by the time you finish paying for them. The honest filter: if you would not be comfortable paying for something in full today and the item depreciates rather than appreciates, buy now, pay later is not making the purchase smarter. It is making the discomfort of the purchase quieter while the purchase proceeds anyway. The installment structure is not neutral. It is designed to lower the psychological barrier to spending money that is not yet in your account on things that lose value. Purchase 5. Premium gym memberships used only in January. The fitness industry has one of the most reliable annual business cycles of any industry in existence. A surge of new memberships in January, a steady decline in attendance through February, and by March, a large pool of members paying monthly fees to gyms they have not visited in weeks. The fitness industry generates an estimated $2 billion to $3 billion annually from members who pay but do not attend, according to research on gym membership economics. The premium gym, with the marble floors, the towel service, the smoothie bar, generates more of this revenue per member than a basic facility, because the monthly fee is high enough to sting, and the emotional investment of the niceness makes cancellation feel like admitting defeat. The honest question to ask before committing to any gym membership in 2026: have I actually used a gym consistently in the past 12 months? Not planned to. Not intended to. Actually attended regularly as a sustained habit. If the answer is uncertain, the evidence suggests starting with a month-to-month, no-commitment facility until the habit is established, rather than financially committing to infrastructure for a behavior change that has not happened yet. Purchase 6. AI tools and app subscriptions you do not actually use. This one is specifically 2026 relevant, because the proliferation of AI-powered apps, productivity tools, and subscription software has created an entirely new category of subscription creep. For the first time in 2026, McKinsey's ConsumerWise survey found that are beginning to move from early adopter stage into the mainstream, which means more people are signing up for artificial intelligence writing assistants, image generators, productivity apps, and automation tools than at any previous point. Many of these services offer compelling free trials that quietly convert to paid monthly plans, often in the $15 to $30 per month range, that are then forgotten. The financial damage from any single unused AI subscription is modest. The damage from 4 to 6 such subscriptions running simultaneously AI tools, which is where a surprising number of people currently sit, adds up to $60 to $180 per month for tools that may duplicate each other's functionality or simply go unused after the initial novelty period. Audit your app subscriptions on the first payday of every month. Anything you cannot specifically recall using in the past 30 days gets canceled immediately, not eventually. Purchase 7. Trendy home decor and fast furniture. The home decor and fast furniture industry has perfected a business model built around seasonal trends, low price points, and construction quality designed to last approximately as long as your interest in the trend does. Platforms like TikTok have dramatically accelerated interior design trend cycles, meaning a specific aesthetic, that maximalist gallery wall, that particular shade of sage green, that style of light fixture, can go from everywhere online to slightly embarrassing to still have within 12 to 18 months. The average American household spends approximately $2,400 per year on home furnishings and decor, according to Bureau of Labor Statistics consumer expenditure data, a significant portion of which is driven by trend replacement rather than actual functional need. The purchases most likely to fall into the regret category in this area: fast furniture from companies optimizing for price over durability, decor items purchased specifically because of social media exposure rather than genuine personal preference, and room redesigns driven by a trend you found on an algorithm rather than a style you have genuinely wanted for years. The test is simple. If you could not describe why you wanted this specific thing before you saw it on your feed, the algorithm picked it for you. Purchase 8 timeshares still in 2026. I almost did not include this one because it has appeared on worst purchases lists for 30 consecutive years, and yet here we are in 2026, and the timeshare industry still generates approximately $10 billion per year in the United States, which means people are still buying them at a meaningful rate, which means this warning still belongs here. A timeshare is an agreement to pay for the right to use a vacation property for a specific period each year, typically accompanied by annual maintenance fees that escalate reliably and cannot be escaped even if you stop using the property or decide you want out. The resale market for timeshares is, to put it charitably, not robust. The average resale price for a timeshare is a fraction of the original purchase price, and many timeshare owners are willing to transfer their contracts for free or even pay someone to take over the remaining obligations, simply to escape the escalating annual fees. If the resale market values something at essentially zero, the purchase price is not an investment. It is a fee paid in advance for vacation you could have booked more flexibly and for less money in total through conventional travel channels. Purchase 9 lottery tickets as a financial strategy. Let us address this one carefully, because buying the occasional lottery ticket for entertainment is a personal choice and not the topic of this section. The topic of this section is purchasing lottery tickets with the genuine expectation that they will materially improve your financial situation, which is both an extremely common motivation and an extremely poor financial strategy. The odds of winning a major lottery jackpot, Powerball, or Mega Millions are approximately 1 in 292 million to 1 in 302 million, depending on the game. For context, you are statistically more likely to be struck by lightning twice in your lifetime than to win a major lottery jackpot. The average American spends approximately $315 per year on lottery tickets, according to research from the National Conference of State Legislatures, and the spending is disproportionately concentrated among lower-income households, for whom the lottery sometimes functions as a psychologically compelling alternative to conventional saving and investing, despite having a dramatically lower expected return on every dollar spent. $315 per year invested in a simple index fund at 7% annual return over 30 years becomes approximately $31,000. The lottery ticket's expected value is mathematically less than the face value of the ticket. One of these paths builds something real. Purchase 10 things bought specifically to impress people. The final entry is the most honest one on this list, because it cuts across every other category rather than sitting in one. Impulse buying is most commonly triggered by clothes shopping, cited by 55% of consumers, and 48% of social media users have impulsively bought an item they first saw on a social media feed. The common thread through a significant share of regretted purchases is not the product itself, it is the motivation behind the purchase. Specifically, the purchase was made, consciously or not, primarily for how it would look to others, rather than for the genuine utility or joy it would provide to the buyer. This is one of the most expensive cognitive biases in consumer economics. The psychological research on this, which we covered in the context of stealth wealth in a previous episode, consistently finds that conspicuous consumption produces shorter-term satisfaction and worse long-term financial outcomes than spending directed toward genuine personal enjoyment or financial security. The watch, the bag, the car, the renovation. When the primary motivation is external impression rather than internal value, buyers consistently report lower satisfaction than expected and higher regret than they anticipated. The test before any significant non-essential purchase: If nobody you know would ever see this, would you still want it? If the honest answer is no, the purchase is not buying you the thing. It is buying you the reaction, which depreciates faster than almost anything else on this list. 10 purchases. Some cost thousands. Some cost $15 a month. All of them share a common characteristic. The gap between what they cost you and what they actually deliver is wider than it appears at the moment of purchase. The top financial regret of 2025 was not saving, cited by 38% of Americans. The second was impulse purchases, cited by 28%. Both of those regrets are built, purchase by purchase, from exactly the kind of spending we covered today. The goal is not to stop spending. Spending is not the enemy. Spending without intention, on things that depreciate faster than they satisfy, on things bought to impress people who are not watching as closely as you think, on recurring charges for services you forgot you had, that is what this list is actually about. In 2026, 53% of Americans have set a budget, up from 46% in 2025. That is progress. The budget is only the first step, though. The second step is knowing which purchases reliably undermine it, so that when you encounter them, you see them clearly for what they are before the money leaves your account. Spend on what you love. Audit what you do not. And maybe, before you click confirm on the next thing that showed up in your feed at 11 p.m., ask the question this list is really built on. Will I still want this in 30 days? If the answer is uncertain, the answer is probably no. Hope you enjoy the video, hit like and subscribe. See you in the next one.